Hi there, welcome to the archive. I thought I would do one more. The red lip. I wore a red lip today because I saw something online. This black man saying that he thinks black women who wear red lips are so ugly. And I just love it. I just love a go-to boy repellent. Like, I just love knowing what repels them and just doing it. And like, oh, you don't like a red lip? Hi. It's gotten me thinking about how even people, because sometimes I'll take it really hard. Recently, I was reminded that whenever I try to engage somewhere, or like reach out and meet new people, I'll also see like sometimes there's a wave of it's okay that you're not for everybody posts, right? Not to say that specifically for me, but just that reminder at the same time that like I'm trying to like reach out to new people, and like intuitively I'm like, oh, these people with me, but there's no you don't have any solid evidence that they don't like you, right? And then as somebody who just thinks nobody ever likes her, I've always been like that since I was a little kid. Is one of the themes I talk about in Nana Essie. Nana Essie doesn't think anybody likes her, everybody hates her, right? That's something I've always also, that's somehow I've always been like that too. But when you feel, it's kind of like that boy thing, like the repellent, like when people are like, oh, I don't like black women because they wear a red lip, and like you can't really control that. That's none of your business. That's actually a really weird kind of benchmark to identify whether somebody's good for you or not, but it happens, right? And so in that case, I could just, why is it easier for me to be like, oh, I'm just not for that person, I'm just not for that black man who is likely misogynist or just doesn't like black women with red lipstick? Why is it when like I take it harder when it's actually black women who are rejecting me, than if it's like a black man or a white man or just men in general, right? If a man is like, I don't like her, and you're just like, yeah, you probably wouldn't, right? But when it's like a black woman that I really respect, or I see similar traits in myself in them, and then they reject me or they don't like me or I'm not for them, that could be a little bit harder to swallow, right? Just because you don't know them, but there's an affinity. Those are the folks that I actually really care to validate me, right? Like, yeah, I'm just thinking about that. Like, why is it when a black man is online being like, I hate black women who wear red lipstick, I'm like, oh, let me repel you because thank you so much for showing me that I'm not for you, and that's okay. But when it's like a black woman doing the same thing, being like, ugh, with black women who overshare, then instead of being like, oh, okay, thank you, I'm not for you because I'm definitely overshare, and I definitely do the over TMI thing. Instead of being like, oh, right, I'm not for you. Instead, I almost like, and I used to do this with romantic partners, is like, there's this thing that's like, oh, I'm gonna make you love me more. Rather than being like, no, thank you. This actually is a dangerous person who's telling me they actively do not work with people like me because of whatever reason that has nothing to do with me, right? So yeah, I'm gonna work on that in 2025. I still see it. I don't do it with like men or people that I'm crushing on anymore, right? When you have a crush and they're like, actually, I don't like dark black women, I like light-skinned women, I would be like, I can comprehend that. I'd be like, but why don't you love me? I want to make you love me, right? I don't do that anymore in those situations, but I still do it with folks that I respect, or that I look up to, who for whatever reason, valid or not, just work with me, right? So I'm gonna try to be mindful of that. I still think there is this thing to like want to force things with people who are clearly saying, I don't like you. I don't like you. And it's okay for them to say, I don't like you, right? It's okay for me to say I don't like certain people. But again, just because I don't like something doesn't mean the majority of people don't like it. Actually, majority of people really love things that I don't love, right? Anyways.